Hey guys, so the government is finally back open, but it didn't happen by accident. In today's video, I'm going to expose the Democratic leaderships and their stalled negotiations, how they enacted partisan stunts, and how they refused to compromise. They pushed the nation into an unnecessary shutdown. I'm going to talk about the budget gridlocks, the political posturing, and we're going to unpack exactly how we got here. And also, what does it mean for us, the American people, moving forward into the future? Stay tuned. Well, thanks for coming back and checking me out at Trina Talks. I appreciate you being back with me today. Today I'm kind of off the cuff. I just want to talk about everything that's been going on, and I want to recap a few things from my last couple of videos. So I had made a video about 7 days ago called The Government Shutdown, and I talked about a lot of things. I talked about the food stamps. I talked about the shutdown. Talked about the Democrats and their election and thinking that, okay, so now they wanted to keep the government shut down as basically leverage, all right, for their election and to get the people in where they wanted them to be, right, so they can have more leverage for 2026 and ultimately for the presidential election in the future. So I was saying, okay, so let's see. I bet you it's just going to be a couple days before they finally decide that they're going to go ahead and open up the government back up. And here we are 7 days later, and we're back open. Thank God for that. I mean, there was a lot of people suffering because of it. A lot of danger, possibly could happen because of it, with the air traffic controllers and stuff like that. Not only because they were not getting paid, but because they were on the job stressed out and couldn't, do their jobs properly. Never mind the ones that just decided that they couldn't come anymore. They just couldn't come to work. So with the food stamps, I had a little short that was talking about the food stamps and how it was a necessity. And people really went crazy about that. They were like, no, it's not a necessity. The government's not their job, to fund food stamps for American people and this and that and whatnot. And, they really went crazy. I just want to go on record saying that while I can somewhat agree with what they're saying, because there are people that are lazy, that are not getting out there and working when they could be. And there are people that are taking serious advantage of the government programs and things like that. I do understand that. And I agree that those people should not be getting it. So to me, that means that the government needs to put more stringent actions in place when they're screening people to see if they are eligible or not, right? So that is what needs to happen there. It doesn't mean that you throw the baby out with the bathwater. And so for people that are really in need with it, like elderly people or people that can't work because they might be injured in some way, or you have children, they definitely can't work because they're just children. So there are people that do need it. And this is why the program was put in place to begin with. And so we as taxpayers, we're paying our taxes and we're pouring money into it. So yes, we have a say and a right to say how we feel about it. But like I said, I think in my last video, this has been a part of our country forever. And just because we have people that are younger that don't understand that doesn't mean that we can just immediately just stop that and just say, no, everybody's got to go find a second job or do all these different things. There are people in this country that still need the help. So I just wanted to go on record and say that about the food stamps. But anyway, so I talked about the food stamps. I talked about, the Democrats. This video, I want to talk about why I think they are so angry and why they felt like they needed to keep voting to keep the government shut down. My summation is that they were having a temper tantrum and they said, oh no, we can't lose again. This is the only chance we have to try to get the things that we want. So I'm going to start. I have a list here. I'm going to break down different reasons why these Democrats were so upset and decided, we're just going to say no. And we're going to keep saying no until we get what we want. So the first thing is the lost presidential election. Now, let's not forget, last year, going through all of that stuff with who was going to be the president. I tell you, I was sick to my stomach on some days watching Kamala and the things that she wanted to do. I was not a Kamala fan at all. And I was attacked many times for not saying her name right or for women's rights and all of these different things. But either way, they lost. Period. Point blank, period. They lost that election to Donald Trump of all people, and that made them very upset. They've been cracking and splitting ever since. So you got that. That was a big loss that they were very upset about. Then you got the enforcement of illegal immigration and ICE being everywhere and taking people into custody. And so that's been a big proponent of their anger, I guess is the way that I'll put that. So they've been very angry and very upset about that as well. And so that was another loss for them. And so they're just like making a list of all the things that, oh no, we can't keep losing to Donald Trump. We can't keep losing to Donald Trump. Okay. So now number 3, that's going to be Obamacare / Biden care. So they're very upset about this because they're saying that this is going to hurt so many children. This is going to hurt so many people in their communities that will not be able to get health care. I don't exactly know what that means, but I will tell you a story about myself. So some years ago, I was working for this company. I was getting health care through this company. I was paying for my health care. This is when Obamacare, I guess, before Obamacare, and then when it started becoming a law that you had to use Obamacare. So, but I was paying for my own health care during that time. And I loved my health care. I loved my doctor. I was having a great time, going to my doctors that I chose, that I liked, and I was getting pretty good health care. And so I was paying $50 a week to have that health care. And while that might not seem like a lot, I wasn't making a whole lot of money. So it was still, a little bit of a tug for me, but I had to do it because I needed it. I had regular healthcare. I had my dental healthcare, and I had also for my eyes. So it was good. And then I get a letter in the mail saying that I wasn't going to be able to have that healthcare anymore. And I didn't understand. I went to my job and I said, hey, what's going on? How come I can't have my healthcare anymore? And they said, because of the Obamacare, if you're a part-time worker or if you're not making so much money that they're not going to be able to cover you anymore, you have to go to the county office and you have to get Medi-Cal. I wasn't happy about that at all because I'm like, what do you mean? I'm happy with the insurance that I have. I don't want to go to the government office and get Medi-Cal, but I didn't have a choice. So I had to do that. I did that and I got Medi-Cal, and then I was sent to the clinic to go to the doctor, or I had to find a doctor that Medi-Cal was going to cover. To me, that's the same thing as the clinic. And I did finally find a doctor that I could see at the clinic, even though it was multiple doctors. So every time I went to the doctor, I had a different doctor. It was never one doctor that I could see every time. It was always whoever showed up in the room when I came for my appointment. So that was I wasn't happy about that at all. And I was forced to do it. So from what my understanding is, from the parts that I've looked over for the big, beautiful bill, it will make it so that people have a choice again. You will get your insurance through your job. And if you can't get it under your job, then you can get Medi-Cal if you qualify. So to me, that sounds fine. But, to them, they're like, no, they're screaming and yelling. And I know one of the reasons is because in terms of illegal immigration, I know that there are illegal people that are receiving medical benefits under that Obama, Biden care, whatever. And so I know that Trump doesn't want those people to have that anymore. So he cut that out, that they won't be able to get it. And I know this is a big conversation, and a lot of people are saying, no, that's not true. People that are illegal in this country are not getting health care, but they are. They 100% are. And I can only speak to where I'm at and what I know, and I can speak to it because I do have friends, I do have family members, in fact, that fit under that umbrella, and they do receive health care in this country. And I'm thankful because those people have needed it, at times. But I know that that's one of the reasons that they're very upset, is because those people will not be able to qualify for that, for healthcare. So there you go. That's like loss number 3 for them. So this is all the things, right? We're getting angrier and angrier because they're losing everything. In terms of the big beautiful bill, yes, that was passed in July 4th of this year. That was Donald Trump's big beautiful bill that's been yelled and screamed about like crazy, and it's passed. Not one Democrat voted for it. That's what they said. I don't know, but they're very upset about it, and they don't like it, and they want changes. They want changes, and they want extensions to different bills that they had on the table for the last year or 2 years or 3 years, however long it's been. They want more extensions on that. And the big beautiful bill is saying, no, we're not extending those things anymore. So they're upset. Okay. So here we go. That's another reason for them to be mad. Side note, in the terms of the big beautiful bill, they say some people they say that the working class will be the biggest winners of this. And some people say that the rich are going to be the biggest winners of this. I don't really know all of those details because I have not read the big beautiful bill. I heard that it's like, I don't even know, 10,000 pages. Who knows? But I'm not reading that thing. We'll find out as time goes by. Little bits and pieces will come out and we'll find out. But I think that the truth about the big beautiful bill, whether it's good for us, bad for us, whatever, is somewhere in between. I don't think it's all wonderful for us, and I don't think that it's going to be all terrible for us either. But I think it's somewhere in the middle, and I think we'll find that out. So again and again and again, they kept losing all these fronts. And so finally they felt like, well, this is finally our chance, because they needed some of their votes in order to keep the government open when it was time to refund the government for however the time period was. So they felt like, this is our chance. Let's do it. No, we vote no, no, no. So they're going to keep voting no on it to keep it closed because they're not getting their way. So temper tantrum, isn't that what our children do? Throw temper tantrums when they don't get their way? It's kind of what we got going on here with the Democrats, or the Democratic Party, put it that way. So anyway, logic to me says that if you want something, you say yes. And if you don't want something, you say no. So when it came time to vote to open the government, they said no every time. But then they didn't want to take responsibility for it being their fault for the government being shut down and being shut down for so long because they kept voting no. The person that votes no is the one that doesn't want it, right? I mean, it's logic. It's common sense. That's what that means. They want us to say, oh, no, it wasn't us voting no that kept the government shut down. It was Donald Trump, and it was the Republicans. It was their fault for making the government shut down. I don't know, but they said that they voted yes. You voted no. That's why it was shut down. You got all the reasons and this and that and whatever. Okay. We get it. Those are conversations that you guys still need to have. You need to hash them out and figure those things out. But for God's sake, don't shut the government down. It hurts too many people. And weren't we the ones that voted for you to represent us? But yet you think that we want to have the government shut down for all these people to be hurt? No, we don't want that. We don't want that. And I'm sure that there's people that do, and I don't understand that logic at all. I've heard people on the news, on the different podcasters have went around and talked to people and stuff. And I did hear people saying, yeah, keep it shut down. We don't need, I don't understand that logic one single bit. There are far too many people hurting. I feel like People have completely lost compassion for one another. We are all, I feel like there's this whole big lie that we've been told for the longest time that there are different races. There are no different races. There is one race, and it is the human race. We are all humans, all of us. We are all human beings. It doesn't matter what hue your skin is, what culture you come from. It doesn't matter. We are all humans. We should therefore care about the next human next to us. And so just because if the government shutdown is not hurting you or harming you, you say, keep it shut down because you don't care. But meanwhile, your neighbor right next door to you is hurting big time because the government is shut down. So you should not care about that person. I think that's a problem. I think that's a huge problem in this country, and we need to stop doing that. It's time to get back to just love your neighbor as yourself. What is wrong with that? We can do that. We can do that. It's okay. You don't have to be so hateful and mean and angry all of the time, right? So anyway, I'm going to digress from all of that. That's another conversation, I guess. But so they just extremely angry and said, no, no, no. And now that some of their own people have said, no, let's open the government. It's getting too serious. Too many people are being hurt. Let's open it back up. So that's what they did. And they voted they sided with the Republicans to open the government back up. And thank God for all of us that they did that. But the people of their own party, they're certifiable. They're like, oh, they're just so angry. No, we're just going to keep fighting and fighting and fighting and fight. What are you fighting? Are you fighting the American people? You say you fighting Trump. You say you fighting the Republicans, but you really just fighting us. Because if you're going to keep fighting and fighting, fighting isn't helping us in any way, shape, or form. What are you fighting? That's what I don't get. There are a lot of things that I don't agree with that Trump does. I'm not like, oh, yes, Trump everything. Even though on the other side, there are people that say Trump everything, but in the opposite way. Like, everything that happens, oh, it's Trump's fault. Oh, it's Trump's fault. Oh, it's Trump's fault. Trump did it. Trump. And it's just not true. There are so many things that doesn't fall under. But there are plenty of things that he does do and he does say that are ridiculous. What are you talking about? What are you doing? And why are you saying that? Yeah, this is true. I will be the first to admit that. But everything that's negative or everything that's going wrong is not Trump's fault. And I think that before you start blaming him for everything, maybe you should check it out and find out why it is what it is before you say it's his fault. So anyway, I think the Democratic Party itself is in a breakdown, really. I think it's been happening for a while, right in front of our eyes. And I mean, for me, it just kind of it just really blew up for me during this government shutdown, how much of a breakdown it's going through. So if you look at, you got one side, right? So you have Hakeem Jeffries, you've got AOC, Jasmine Crockett. I mean, first of all, Hakeem Jeffries, to me, he lies so much. And I know that all politicians lie. I am fully aware. But some people, and I feel like in this particular Democratic Party we have right now, I feel like these people bold-faced lie to us as if we can't see and that we're not watching what's going on. Like, they'll tell us that we didn't see you set the house on fire when we saw you set the house on fire. Like, just bold-faced lies all of the time. Every time it gets up to that microphone, I can't stand it. And it's like they have a script that they keep repeating over and over. No matter what happens, repeat that script. No matter what happens, repeat that script. No matter what happens, repeat that lie, repeat that lie, repeat that lie. It's so frustrating. And they're so divisive and they're so angry. It's just, it's exhausting to listen to. And then even during the shutdown, when I had to listen to Mike Johnson get up to that microphone every morning and say the same thing, except it was a different day. I mean, I was like, give me a break. I'm so tired of listening to you guys blame each other. Oh, it's Democrats. Oh, it's Republicans. Oh, it's Democrats. Oh, it's Republicans. And finally, when we got to the last day when they had to do their vote in Congress and the things that they said, I was like, oh my God, it was really just insane. And I found myself listening to the Republican side and understanding what they were saying. But then when it came on the other side to the Democrats, I completely didn't get it. I was like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? You're lying. That's not true. Why are you saying that? That's not true. And that's not true. And that's not true. And they came out and said to multiple news outlets that they were using the government shutdown as leverage to get their way. So the truth is out there. You can either choose to believe it or you can choose to not believe it. And why should you care? Let's talk about why you should care before we talk about Crockett and Newsom, because I got something to say about them. But why should you care? You should care because it affects your life. It affects your children's lives. It affects your parents' lives. It affects your lives. It just does. People will always say, oh, don't worry about, who's going to be the president, because that doesn't necessarily affect your everyday life. We can see right now today that that's not true. You need to care about who's the president, because the president will affect your everyday life. Yes, you should, of course, you should pay attention to your local government, because that is going to affect your everyday life big time. And we're seeing that in action right now, too. So, yeah, you need to care. You need to be watching. You need to be paying attention to what's happening in our country. And what's happening with our political leaders, because all the things that they say and everything that they do is going to affect us, all of us, not just people that get food stamps and Medi-Cal. But yeah, so it's super important that you should care. That's all. Don't say, oh, politics is me. Why are you talking about this? And then, no, it's very important. It's very important. So now I want to jump over to, I said AOC. I mean, I just don't have words. I could say a lot of things, but I'm going to choose to not, because I don't want to be nasty, and so it's better for me to just reserve my words for AOC. Now, for Jasmine Crockett, she's going to get a little bit of smoke from me today, just because she's a Black woman just like me. And Black women have this stigma, right? That they're nasty and they're mean and, their mouths are out of control and all this kind of stuff. And I feel like in the dictionary, if you looked up Black woman with the mean, nasty, all those horrible connotations that we get, her face is going to be right there. She gets on the television and these news outlets and these podcasts and the Breakfast Club. And I mean, she is horrible. The things that she says are so disrespectful to so many different people. And then she wonders why people come and attack her. It's crazy. What do you think is going to happen if you get out there and you start talking crazy about people like that? They're not going to just sit back and let you do that. She is an embarrassment. And if I had the opportunity, if I was in her voting district to vote for her for anything that had to represent me, I wouldn't vote for her. Never. Not one time would I ever vote for that woman. I'm trying to figure out how she got how she got the job she's got. I'm trying to figure that out every day, every time I see her. Who voted you in? Who voted you in there? She's a disaster. And I can only hope and pray that she takes a minute to think about her job, what she's doing, what she's supposed to be doing, and then reels herself back in and tries to focus on what she's supposed to be doing instead of getting on the TV and podcasts and being nasty and mean to everybody that doesn't agree with her. And now she's on the boat with Newsom. I mean, I don't know what to say. Why are you on the boat with Newsom? What is the big... Newsom, he makes me laugh because he is so disingenuous. Extremely disingenuous. And he is a horrible governor. I know that I live in LA and these people that live here love him. I don't know why. I've been living here for 16 years, and when I first moved to Los Angeles, California, it was what it was, right? It was what it was. It wasn't great, but this state has always been beautiful, and it has a lot of wonderful parts to it, and hence why I'm still here after 16 years. And so it has a lot of wonderful parts to it. It's a beautiful state, and there's a lot of freedom here, which is really nice. When you juxtapose it to other states, I come from New York. That's where I was born and raised. So kind of know what they're all about. And there's not a lot of freedom in New York, right? The local government in New York is kind of on your neck about everything. Here is a lot of freedom, and it's nice. You're able to live your life in the sun, right? So, but that's not Newsom's doing. That's the way that California is and has been, I believe it's because of the industry that's here. It's just a different place. But, yeah, he's very disingenuous. He lies all the time. He doesn't care about the constituents here in California. He's just out for himself and whatever the heck he wants to do, as I think the rest of the government here is as well. But I know that he's trying to run for president now. It's in my eye. I know he's trying to run for president now, and for 2028. And I think it's hilarious. I can't imagine anybody voting for him. Take a look at his own state that he has governed forever and a day, and see how it is. It has rapidly declined over the years, and now we have so many places burnt up. We could go on and on about the state of California and how it has become less than, I will say, because of, in part, Gavin Newsom. And so she's on his bandwagon, and I'm like, what kind of cahoots y'all got going on over there? Because I don't get it. Gavin Newsom and Jasmine Crockett. Okay, that's who you got leading your charge? No, thank you. I don't want any parts of that. I'm going to leave that right there because I keep on talking about that mess. But what's interesting to me is how what's come out of this government shutdown, and maybe it was coming before the government shutdown. I don't even know because I don't follow the Democrats that closely, but they're saying it's Schumer's fault. This is the reason why we're having all these problems, because now it's Schumer's fault. Now they got mutiny in their own party, and they're trying to throw Chuck Schumer to the wind. It's his fault now. And then Nancy Pelosi, all of a sudden, out of the clear blue sky, she's going to just retire. What? She is like the head woman in charge. What you mean retire? She ain't retiring. Believe me, she's going to go in the background and do her little stuff from the background. She's definitely not retiring. She's going to retire from what you see. Oh, she's in there, whatever. But no, she's not. She ain't going to be quiet. Believe me. My personal opinion, what I think that she's retiring because that way she can get behind Newsom when he starts running for president. And then she can do all her little stuff from the background. Can't really do it while she's in the Senate or Congress. She can't really do it there because why? It would be a conflict of interest, and I'm sure she couldn't do that. But if she's not in there, then she can be right there next to him. I believe I heard that that's his auntie. I don't know if it's a real aunt, fake aunt. I don't know. But they're in cahoots together up there in San Francisco. So yeah, that's my take on Pelosi. But yeah, mutiny in the party. And then you got AOC. She's talking about, yeah, it's time to get rid of the old guard and we taking over. So they don't like the way that the Democratic Party ran for all of these years. They got a new thing coming, a new thing that they're doing with the Democratic Party. And you could see it. It's radical, extremely leftist. They got this socialism going on. They got this liberalism going on. I mean, I don't know what that party is going to look like, let's say in the next 4 years, 3 years, whatever it is, when it comes time for the next election. So everybody better hold on to their butts. Just putting that out there. So I'm going to start wrapping up this video now. What I want to wrap it up saying is that with all that we have just seen happen, maybe you were affected by the government shutdown, maybe you were not. But at the end of the day, this is our government that runs our country, and every decision that they make affects all of us. But I want to say that we have to learn to not put our trust in Republicans, Democrats, presidents, assembly. We can't put our trust in any of our government because they are working for whoever they work for, and they don't care about you. Let's get that straight. They don't care about you, and they don't care about me. But you know who does? God cares about you. He cares about you. He cares about every single thing about you. He created you. He put you on this earth for a purpose. There's something in this earth that you were supposed to do. So I would encourage you to get closer to God. If you don't know him, I would encourage you to get to know him. Just say a simple prayer and say, Lord, I'm here. I want to get to know you. I want to know who you are. I want you to show up in my life. I believe in you, and I believe in your son, Jesus Christ, and that he died for my sins. Just say the simple prayer. Say, I repent for all of my sins. I don't want to be out of the will that you have for me. I want to be in the will that you have for me. And I know you love me, and I know you care about me. And get to know him. Open up your word. You don't have to read the King James version of the Bible with the these and the thous. If you don't understand it, you don't have to read that version. Read a different version that you can understand. And get to know his word. That's how you get to know him. You get to know him by reading what he had to say and what his people had to say. And when it comes to praying to get more closer to God, you don't have to get on your knees all the time. You don't have to find the perfect words to say. All you need to do is talk to him, just like we're talking right now. That's all you need to do. Just talk to him. And you don't have to make a special time or a special day to do it. You could do it anytime. Anytime. You could just talk to him, and he hears you. He hears you. It says in the word that he's always listening. He's always hearing when we speak to him. So yeah, that's my encouragement to you, because God is the only one that cares. He's the only one that cares, and he cares because he's your creation. Just like if you have children, you care about every single thing that happens to that child because they came from you. So they care. You care. He cares about you because he created you. Genuine love and care for you. So, yeah, that is my encouragement for you today. With this going on, more than ever, we can see how we are in the end times and how they are rapidly, just going. And all of this stuff, I think what we will see happen in the end, it's already been written, and so when we read Matthew 24 and all the things that it says that will happen in the end times, we can kind of see how we're getting there, right? Because, people are this world is getting way out of control, I know that there's a lot of young people out there that they don't really know, or they don't really know what it was like for some of us older people. When we were growing up, life wasn't like this. We didn't see people fighting all over the TV, and, we didn't even see that like in real life, like in person. We didn't see people fighting, literally fighting and protesting and killing each other. And we did see some of it, but not like today. Today is way out of control. way out of control. You go outside and you never know if you're safe. You don't know if you're safe. You don't know what the next person is thinking, what they're going to do. There's so many mental health issues. There's a lot. And so we can only put our trust in God to keep us protected and to take care of us, and to provide all of the things that we need. Your government is not going to provide it. I know people are saying Mamdani is going to make free things over there in New York City and all that kind of stuff. Don't trust in Mamdani. Don't trust in Trump. Don't trust in any man, because they are not going to do it. They're not going to care for you. They're not going to take care of you and make sure you got what you need. But Jesus does. Jesus will. Jesus will. So I'm going to leave that with you guys today. My prayer is that you will have heard something that I said, and that will spark something inside of you to think about something, and maybe something I said will help you, make you go and research. Maybe something I said will make you have more understanding where you didn't have it before. And definitely in terms of God, maybe something I said will help you to understand that He loves you and that He wants you. He's just waiting for you. And so I thank you for tuning in with me today. And I also would love if you gave this video a like. I have a goal that I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers. That's my first goal. So the more likes I get, the more subscribers I get. If you like what I'm saying and find any kind of value in it, please subscribe to my channel and also share it. If you find value in what I'm saying and you think that someone else could possibly hear me, give a share and get it out to more people so that I'll get more views, to my content. Also, I would ask that you go onto my channel, Trina Talks 444. Check out some of my other videos. You might find some interesting things there. And until next time, I pray that you have a wonderful evening and also that you will have a blessed weekend. Take care until next time.